He was the Lubavitcher Rebbe from 1920 until 1950. And in the first 10 years of his life, he was in communist Russia. Right in the beginning of the time when Stalin took over. If you know any of the history of what happened in Stalinist Russia, they say that Stalin killed anywhere from 20 to 50 million people, of his own people, killed. And his public enemy number one was the Lubavitcher Rebbe. The previous Lubavitcher Rebbe. The whole Chabad movement was called Schneersinskis, on the name of the Rebbe. And the whole goal of the Rebbe was to educate Jews. And the whole goal of Stalin is to re-educate the whole world to communism. And anyone who he resisted or he thought would resist, he had killed. So eventually the previous Rebbe was put into prison and sentenced to death in 1927. And miraculously he got out about a little bit less than a month later. He was tortured in prison, and then his punishment was commuted from death. He was supposed to be killed the day that he went in. And then life in prison, and then 3 years. And then when he got to the place where he was to be exiled, so he said a mimer. And a few days after he was put into exile, right, a week and something, after he was put into exile, he was freed. He was said he could go. So that's what we're learning over here. So let's go. We are now in second page here. Okay, so we asked a question like this. What are the Jewish people? What is special about the Jewish people? The Jewish people are here to educate the whole world what God is. That God is creating everything constantly from love and from nothing. Miraculously, everything in the world is a big miracle. Everything is a tremendous miracle. So here, take this. 352, here we are. We're here down the bottom, and then that's the next page, Yeshiva Ohr. Okay, the Yeshiva Ohr, that at first glance, Hare, behold. Hare. So God creates the world constantly, something from nothing. The world is being created from absolutely nothing all the time. In Hebrew, that's called Yesh Mi'ayin. Something from nothing. In other words, the world, before the world was created, what was there? According to Judaism, 5,779 plus a little bit. It's going to be a few months. It's going to be 65,700, and 80 years ago, God created the world. What did He create the world from? Absolute nothing. What does it mean? What is absolute nothing? What is that? We have no idea. It wasn't a vacuum. A vacuum is a creation. He didn't create it from spirit. Spirit is a creation. What did He create the world from? It says from nothing. What existed before the world was there? Only pure godliness. So then God didn't create it from nothing. He created it from Himself. So why do we say God created the world something from nothing? So that's the question. Okay, Lochen, therefore, Harizeh, Kamosha, Bora, Oto, Yaakov, Yisrael. It says the world was created in the merit of Jacob, Yaakov, the father of the Jewish people, Yaakov, Yisrael. That's what we're called Bnei Yisrael. Okay, says the Rebbe, here we go. This is the part we're interested in. Okay, you with me? Herschel. Yes. Dabriya hi yesh mi'ayin. The creation is something from nothing. The Yeshiva Ohr, that at first glance, Hare, behold, Kativ, it is written, quote, Ki mimcha hakol, that everything is from you. Ve'ech mamshilim oto, how can we say that God is bechinat ayin, nothing. The world is something from God. Why is it that we say the world is something from nothing? Well, God is nothing. What would this mean? Let's see. Even though the kativ bihi boram, even though it says bihi boram, right? If you look at the story of creation in the beginning of the Torah, so first of all it tells how God created the world, and then it says, and then on the seventh day he rested, and then it tells the story over again in a short way. Elu told us Hashemayim va'oretz bihi boram, when they were created. V'omer Azal and the rabbis say, behei bara'am, that God created the world from the letter Hey. Okay, you with me? Yes. You see that place? Yeah. Hey Baram. The Ita Bezohar, and it is brought down in the book the Zohar, to Ot Hey, that the letter Hey, that God created the world from the letter Hey. Right? It says in the Bible that God created the world from His speech. God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. Let there be a firmament, and there was. So God created everything from His speech. These 22 letters are really not part of the world. The world comes from these 22 letters. And that's why there's a book called Sefer Yetzirah. It's a very basic Kabbalah book that was given to Abraham. And this tells the secret of the 22 letters and the secret of creation, of formation, Yetzirah. And it says in the Talmud that there were actually people, it says that Rabbah created a human being. Rabbah Bora Gavra, it says. It's in the Gemara in Kesuvos. That Rabbah created a human being, but he couldn't speak. Right? That whole idea of the golem of Prague, of something, it was in the Talmud also. They say the Moralmi Prague knew. They knew how to use the letters of creation in order to make things. They couldn't really make things from nothing. Only God can do that. But they knew how to form things, how to take energy or spirit and make it into physical. V'hu ata kalila. It says the letter Hey, that the world was created mainly from the letter Hey, God's breath. V'hi ata kalila. This is what is called a very light letter. The late bay, that there is not in it mamasha, any substance. Letter Hey. So the whole world was created from the letter Hey. Okay, we're on the second line from the bottom. First word on the line. Hine. Hine, behold. Be'emet, really. Gam ze atzmo, this itself. Tzorich lahaven, we have to understand. The world was created from the letter Hey. Well, that's a little bit better than it being created from ayin, from nothing. But still, it doesn't make any sense. It says, Mimcha hakol, that everything comes from God. What do you mean it comes from the letter Hey? So let's explain this now. How does the world... There's a big question. What's the big question? God is creating everything all the time. He's creating us. He's creating you. He's creating me. He's creating the sun, the stars. He's creating all these gods that the non-Jews believe in. All the other religions, they're based on some sort of connection to something that they call God. Well, God creates that also. The Jewish people worship the creator of the universe. So God is creating us all the time. Big question that we have. If God is creating us, why don't we feel it? It should be the most obvious thing in the world. That God is creating us every single second. Our whole being depends on God. Why don't we feel it? Right? It's like a person, there's some people that they have problems with their kidneys, so they have to go and make dialysis. So these people know that their whole life depends on this machine. They're connected to the machine, the whole life depends on it. They know it, there's no question about it. Here we're being created by God, not only our life, but our whole being. And that's the message of the Jews to the world. Shema Yisrael, Hashem Echad, that God is one. There's nothing except for God. Why don't we feel this? Why is it so totally hidden from us? So we'll see. Let's look. But the thing is, when you do feel that God is creating you, then you're able to do what it says in the continuation of Shema Yisrael. Love God with all of your heart. You realize how amazingly valuable and good God is. That He's creating me all the time. He's with me. I'm never alone. And God is giving me a purpose. He believes in me. I'm important to Him. I have a responsibility. When a person sees this and he feels it, right, then he becomes a different person. The problem is to see it and feel it. That's very, very difficult. Right? Very difficult. That's what the idea of Chassidut is for. Now the Rebbe is going to explain us how it is that God creates everything. There's nothing more obvious than the fact that God is creating everything. All there is God, and we don't see it and feel it at all. Nothing whatsoever. Not only we don't feel it, nobody feels it. Who feels it? There are people that are called tzaddikim. And these tzaddikim, they feel it and act accordingly. But except for that, it's totally concealed from the world. Let's see. But the idea is like this. You with me, Zachariah?
Yes.
But it's like this. Tehine kasi, behold, it is written, Gadol Hashem, great is God, Hulal Ma'od, and He is very praised, Be'ir Elokeinu, in the city of God. God is very praised in the city of God. Does the air conditioner bother you? No. The Omer Zal and the rabbis say, Emotai hu gadol, when is God great? Again, what does the pasuk say? Great is God and very praised in the city of God. Be'ir Elokeinu, in the city of our God. In the city of our God, God is very praised. Now, what is the city of our God? Maybe it means Jerusalem or something like that. What is it? So the Rebbe is going to say, no, it means the whole creation. We'll see. Emotai gadol, when is God great? Kishehu be'ir Elokeinu, when He is in the city of our God. What does it mean, Ir Elokeinu, the city of our God? Kai, it refers al to. You can write words down if you want. I can go slower. Huh? Right, that's your page. Do you have it? 354? Yeah. Perush, what does it mean? See, right from the beginning. There's Perush, Ir Elokeinu, the city of our God. What is this? God is great when He is in the city of our God. What is this? Kai, it refers al an klalu olam hadibur, the entire world of speech. What does it mean, the world of speech? God created the world from His speech. That's what it says in the Bible. God said, let there be this, let there be this, and that's what there was. The whole world of God's speech. In other words, the whole entire creation. Hainu shezehu kamo ir. That the whole entire creation, all the spiritual worlds, all the physical world, is like a city. What is a city? A city is kibbutz, a conglomeration, a gathering, miharba, from many, batim, houses, yachad, together. If you want to, you can put just a dot above each word you don't know, and after class I'll translate it for you. A city, what is a city? A place where there's a lot of buildings, houses, buildings. The habayit, what are buildings made of? Nase are made, mikibutz, from the gathering, harbe avanim, a lot of stones together. So each house is made of a lot of stones, and the city is made of a lot of houses. Therefore, that's called the city of God, the whole entire creation. And so it is also in the subject of God's speech, that the letters of God's speech, nimshulu, are compared, b'sefer Yetzirah. That's this Kabbalah book that I mentioned before. This Kabbalah book, the letters of God's speech are compared to avanim, to stones. Ukamaimer, and like the saying, shtei avanim, two stones, bonot, build, shtei batim, shnei batim, two houses. Kamo, like, what are the stones? The stones are letters, and the stones can build houses. Put the letters together, and they build houses. What do you mean? Take, for instance, two letters, Aleph and Beis. Those two letters can build two houses. Av and Ba. Shlosha avanim, three stones. Bonot shisha batim. They can create 6 houses. Right? Take Aleph, Beis, Gimel. There's 6 different permutations that you can make from that. 6. Aleph, Beis, Gimel, and then Aleph, Gimel, Beis. That's 1. Then start off with Beis. Beis, Aleph, Gimel, Beis, Gimel, Aleph. Then start off with Gimel. Gimel, Aleph, Beis, Gimel, Beis, Aleph. That's it. 6. There's no more permutations you can make with 6. Therefore, if you take the 27 letters of the Hebrew alphabet, right, you can make infinite number of permutations with those letters. How can you make infinite numbers of permutations? Because you can take 2 at a time, 3 at a time, 4 at a time. You can any 4 you want, any 5 you want, any 6 you want. You can put them in different orders. Therefore, that's the whole entire Hebrew language. Is from that is created every single creation in the whole entire world. Just like in English. How many letters are there in the English language? 26 letters in the Hebrew language. Look how many words you can get. Big dictionaries filled. Even more. Look at music. Right? Look at music. You only have 12 tones in music, at least in Western music. How much you can make from, right? All the music in the world that's been made from, who knows, from 500 years ago, something that's written music, is all just based on these 12 tones. That's all that there is. And it's all different. So we see the tremendous permutations. This all comes from the idea that Hashem is creating the world all the time. Hard to believe, but that's the message of Judaism. God is creating the world all the time, and not just that He's creating it, the Eastern religions also have something like that, but that God is creating it with a purpose, and that every creation is important. And that's why God is creating it constantly. Everything is being created constantly. It's not that just God created the first man a long time ago and He just sort of let the thing go, and He made up the laws. So people are not really important. They're just sort of here. And you sort of are God. You make up your own, what you want. No, it's not so. If you want to be God, you can pretend you're God, 100%. God gave you free will. But the fact of the matter is that Hashem, God, is creating every single detail constantly with an intention. How is He doing that? And everything is different. How is He doing that with letters? The letters of the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet, that's the powers of creation that create the whole entire world. Right? That's what it says, look in the book of the Sefer Yetzirah, and that's the light. Kabbalah is based very much on this idea, what we can't see. Right? Can't see. Obvious things that we just can't see. That God is creating everything, and that everything is tremendously, upper worlds are tremendously dynamic and alive, and the angels are burning up over there, etc. Hainu, shemitzirufo otiot, that from the tzirufei otiot, that from these combinations of letters, biyachad together, nase bayit is made a house. Umikibutz harba batim, and from the gathering of a lot of houses is made a city, and that is the whole entire world. Too much? Okay, that's all right. They have to get it fixed. You know. Uperush inyan bayit.